Welcome to Together We Serve TV show. I am excited because you know what? I've got a guest I met less than a year ago, but longer than 6 months, and who knows time. When you get to 62 like me, you don't remember, you don't know, but it doesn't matter because we've really connected. We actually work together now in a mastermind. So excited she's come aboard. And talking about business and growing your business and then scaling, because there's two different levels that she taught me. And I'm excited to have her on because we're going to learn a lot today. Erin Marcus, welcome to the show.
Woohoo! Thank you. I just had to laugh because you had those pictures of us up there and we look so fancy and put together like someone did my makeup and everything. And yet here we are.
And the crowd's cheering because she's here. Well, Erin, I'm going to start the show. I've been thinking about this all day because I'm excited to have you on. I saw you on a podcast with Josh Tapp.
Yeah.
Where we both know Josh. I'm a business partner. We work with him. And you guys talked about an entrepreneur and a business owner and that gap and difference. I'd love you to share with the audience all about that.
Well, and here's the thing. You can draw the line wherever you want. And it's not like this is the only definition. I like to know where I draw the line so that I know how to talk about something, so I know how to help somebody. And I think this has changed. I think what I'm going to say didn't used to be the case. It used to be entrepreneur and small business owner were kind of synonyms. They were kind of synonyms. And a couple things have, hijacked is the only word that comes to mind. Like hijacked that fact. And one of them is the MLM world going out there convincing every woman who is part of those. By the way, I use a lot of those products. I don't sell those products, but I use my nails are Color Street. That's an MLM, right? But they've taken that language to say anybody who sells these nail thingies, their stickers, it's very exciting, is an entrepreneur, right? And then at the same time, the internet, the access to an audience, right? We have unprecedented access to an audience. That also kind of hijacked the word. And then all of a sudden, an influencer is an entrepreneur, right? So that's fine. That's fine. This is not like a judgment thing. But to me, that meant I have to differentiate, because remember what I do is I teach people how to grow, leverage, scale their businesses. So I had to differentiate that situation. And let's not even use MLM. Let's use a high-end influencer, right? Yeah. A high-end influencer doing great things is still a different approach from a strategy perspective than a business owner who may have more moving parts. There's a different mindset at this point in what I'm seeing and who I'm talking to. It used to be that another change in the word is entrepreneur also used to be more synonymous with venture capitalist. And that's just not really the case anymore. The venture capitalist is functioning at an entirely different point in time than how most people now use the word entrepreneur. And again, this is no judgment. You want to make a ton of money selling nail products, that's fantastic. You want to be an influencer and, write a book and just do social, that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with any of them, but you have to know what you're actually trying to do so that you know what it is that you actually should be doing. And so for me, understanding the definitions, or at least having a framework, having where I draw the line in between, having a framework, having bumpers in my gutters as I make decisions, having a litmus test to bump decisions up against, it just makes things easier because it helps me decide, what do I need to do? What do I want to do? What am I trying to do? And so for me, I delineate between those things now, truly just to help me create the plan, the action plan, in order to get the outcome.
Right. And understanding your business is what you're saying. If you're selling the nails and you're doing $50,000 a year, it's a business, but it's a certain business. And I love the network marketing example because I was in a lot of it, and they're not top business. I'm saying it publicly, and we all know that they're taught to talk to their friends and family.
They're taught to sell, which
Yeah.
is different. I'll give you two examples. I have a client that I met with just a couple of weeks ago. They have a chimney sweep business. It's a fireman and his wife. They own a chimney sweep business. Wonderful people. I was able, we went through all their things. We were able to change 3 things they're doing and find $1 million in their business.
Wow.
An MLM doesn't have that opportunity, right? Because it's a different. Today, I had a client who I onboarded today. She's just under $500,000. She's amazing. I love her. And we had in 90 minutes, I looked at what she was doing in a completely different place. So for the chimney sweep business, it was a sales and proposal process that needed to change. It was a sales system that needed to change. For this client, it had to do more with what she was offering and how it was being offered. We found she's just under $500,000 right now. We found $250,000 in her business just by tweaking how she was offering what she was offering. You can't do those things if you're an MLM, if you're necessarily a venture capitalist. Truthfully, they don't have that ability. They're thinking about, they're solving different problems. Put it that way.
Yeah.
They're solving different problems.
That's well said. And together we serve, you said we 3 times in that story. And I love that because together we serve, you're serving your clients. Yeah, you value and paid for in abundance, but their ROIs. That's incredible stories.
Oh my God. Ray, in both of those cases, my goal is always, how fast can we get your ROI? It's business, right? It's business. What is our ROI situation? And it's different for everybody. And in these 2 cases, they were far enough along in their business to be able to make some ROI and working with me in 30 days.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Not always how it works, but
no. Here's a misconception I hear, and we've talked about, I know Josh and me have talked about the difference between a business growing and business scaling. Define that for us.
So this is, as I've been talking to people like you, I talk to a good 20 new people a week, right? I'm having different conversations than you're having. I'm talking about how is your business going, what's working, what's not working. And one of the biggest mistakes that I have heard over and over and over and over and over and over again is the reason what they're trying to do to increase, let's just use a different word for now, increase their revenue, increase their business, isn't working for them because the tactic doesn't fit the stage of business they're at, right? So I keep saying this, I'm big on language, I'm big on where do I draw my line so I can create the visual in my head. Maybe it's just the weird way my brain thinks. It's like, let's call it this and this and this, and then we know what to do with it. To me, growth just means you need more. The growth stage means I just need more. I need a little bit more clients. I need more money. What I'm doing is working, but I just need it to work more, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to make any big, huge changes. The second stage is leveraged. Now we're getting into addition. Now I'm trying to leverage my assets, my time, my money. Now I want addition. I don't want just more. I want 2 for 1. I want to be able to reach more with 1. So now I'm looking at speaking versus networking, right? Networking, I'm meeting one-to-one with you. Speaking, I'm in front of a group of people. I'm leveraging the asset that is my time to add, right? Math, add to my results. Scaling is a different world. Scaling is multiplication. Scaling is multiplication. Scaling is when we are looking at passive marketing potentially that can add an entirely different product without our active need. Scaling could be adding service lines, right? It could be adding service lines that are adjacent to what we're doing. Scaling is multiplication. And what I'm hearing out in the marketplace is so many people who sell tactics, right? They sell a funnel system, they sell a podcast system, they sell a book, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with any of these tactics. By the way, we love all of them. but they use the word scaling. They use the word scaling. It sounds very sexy. Who doesn't want to scale? Leverage sounds like work, by the way, right? It sounds like an outcome, right? So we love that. But they're selling it to the people who haven't grown yet. They're selling scaling tactics. Scaling on average, scaling takes longer to get an ROI because it's a passive effort. It's a new marketplace. You might need a whole new group of people. You got to learn a whole bunch of new stuff. They're selling tactics that help you scale to people who first just need to grow. You just need to grow. And it's cyclical, by the way. So, and I use my business as an example. I was doing things last year in 2023. I had this beautiful plan on paper. It was genius. It was absolutely amazing. And I had great people involved, the people that I loved. And it really was a scaling plan. Didn't work. Didn't work. You could do everything right and it still doesn't work. The market changes, you change, they change, like whatever. The horrible truth that people don't like to talk about is most things don't work. Most things actually don't work. And I'll get back to that in a second. But my scaling plan didn't work. So I had to stop, reevaluate, and decide what I wanted to do. And I literally went back to a growth plan. I stopped what I was doing on November 1st. And by middle of January, I had contracted $100,000 in new business. Because I stopped what I was doing and I went back to the strategies that just give me a little more. And that created the space for me to very quickly go back into leveraged approaches and leveraged strategies.
Mm-hmm. Can you stay in the growth stage
100%.
and be financially? Yeah, that's the thing.
You can make $1 million in the growth stage.
Okay.
You can make $2 million in the growth stage. Absolutely. You can stay. There's no. I know a lot. Influencer is a perfect example of that. Mm-hmm. They just need more, right? I know a lot of extremely high-end mindset coaches, right? Because they've done their work, they've run their business, they're so good at what they do. They've grown themselves that they're literally now just charging $100,000, $500,000 to work with them. They don't need any of the rest of this. The different stages are more and more complicated. Each stage is more complicated. So when things aren't working, I do what I call remove the dots. I removed all my dots last year. I looked at everything I was doing to grow, to increase, right? To increase my business. And if there was more than 2 dots involved, I got rid of it.
Wow.
I got rid of it. I dumped 75% of my marketing plan and made $100,000 in 30.
That's awesome. It's awesome and crazy at the same time. But okay, explain dots. When you look
dots are steps.
Oh, so your steps. Oh, okay.
Anything that had more than 2 steps between me and making a sale got stopped. I mean, go back to the tacticians I was talking about. How many dots does it take to create a passive income funnel for a course?
4 or 5.
5 is like 30.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
People don't realize it, right? You got to make the course. You got to write the content. Someone's got to make, right? You got to program it. How do I know all this? Because I can't do this. I try. I can't do it. So I always have to hire somebody. Mm-hmm. I always have to hire somebody to, right? And it's not going to look good if I do it. I have to have the landing page. I have to have the Kajabi thing set up. I have to, you hear the way I talk about this. I don't understand this stuff. Not my joke, right?
Not your wheelhouse. Nope.
Right? Like you have to know, you have to split test your ads. How much money do you have to split test your ads before you run out of money?
Yeah.
For a $97 course. How are you supposed to live on that? That's why you don't do that until you grow. So you 100% stay in growth. But in my opinion, you can't You got to be really careful about trying to scale before you've conquered growth, before you've conquered leverage. You can run the stairs. You can't jump over the stairs.
Yep. Yep. So it's interesting. I'm just blown away by everything you're saying. These are great tips. My God, $1 million tips. So a business owner wants to stay in growth. What does the characteristics look like when you talk to somebody and they go, I've been growing for 5 years? Do you look at the whole business? Because I say, Erin, I want to scale. I'm $1 million. I want to hit 100 million. How long will it take me and how do I do it?
100%. And that's what people think scaling is a marketing tool. It's not. Scaling, right? What did we call this? Your business is a system. So what are the pieces of your business? You can break it up as big as marketing is a piece, team is a piece, processes, tools, IT tools, legal, financial, selling. These are all different pieces. Your products and services are a piece.
Yep.
So if you say this is what I do is I ask a million questions. We figure out where we want to go first. We figure out where we are. So in the example, there's 3 different examples. The first example that I gave you of a chimney sweep, his version of leverage needed to be in his sales process. The second example of today's client, who's a creative designer for PowerPoint presentations, is really cool niche. She needed to be in the products and services is where her scaling and growing and leveraging strategy was going to start. I have one client who does operations efficiency. In order to scale his business, it was team. The thing he needed was more team. Yeah. So what I do is I call it so the number one piece is find the anchor in your business. What's the piece that's holding you back? And how do we shore all those things up so that we can wiggle it all up together? Because I think the other thing that scaling from a marketing standpoint has us thinking is that it happens in like an hour. Just for this one thing and it's $1 million. Right? Is it send this one email and I made $1 million? Yeah, but you sent 1 million emails that made $0 first, right?
Yeah. Let's not forget the past.
And here, before anyone thinks I'm like bashing those people, I will tell you that the good ones, the top of the line, the ClickFunnels, Brandon, I always say his name wrong.
Yeah, I know you're there.
Amy Porterfield, right?
There you go.
Amanda Francis. None of them are lying to you. None of them are quiet for a moment about what it took them to get there. Gary Vee. They scream their story of how hard they worked. They scream their story from the rooftops.
Yep.
And nobody listens.
Nope.
And nobody listens.
We're in a microwave system. That's the problem. You said I put that one email out to 1 million people, I'm going to make $1 million. Yeah, it's crazy.
I got mad today because I had to decide, I just ordered 3 things on Amazon and they're coming tomorrow instead of today. Like, really, Erin? Like, come on. I'm going to sit on my butt and have it. Right?
I do the same thing, right? What, 2 days? You're crazy. I thought it'd be 1 hour.
You want me to spend $2 to get it today instead of free tomorrow, and I'm going to be mad about it?
What's the difference? Fly from Denver to, oh my God. Yeah. So I'm learning a lot about you. I know a lot about you, but I'm learning more. So you're really that outside looking in at my business and that one anchor going, okay, this is it. We're going to grow.
Right.
And then you build off that.
Yes. So it's really reverse engineering action plan. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing that messes people up. They start at step 1. And that's not anything wrong, by the way. We all kind of have to start at step 1 because we don't know what the heck we're doing when we start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We start at step 1 and we do a thing, and then we do a thing, and then we do a thing, and do a thing. And then the next thing you know is we have a patchwork quilt. We've put solutions on top of each other until they've gotten so complicated that it's a nightmare. But we don't know what to do because we're out of hours in the day. We're out of days in the week, and we can't do more work. And my job is to show you it's not more work. It's different work.
Yeah.
Right. And We find the anchor, we reverse engineer the act, and we find the anchor. And then the next thing I do is I call it, we prioritize your dominoes. We prioritize the dominoes because the team might have to be built before the marketing can happen, because you can't do client fulfillment if you don't have the guy. Like whatever it is, you prioritize the dominoes. It's also why I'm not a big fan of doing these date range timelines, because you might not be ready by October. You might be ready by June. You might be ready by December. So why are we arbitrarily throwing dates at things?
Yeah, and more pressure and stress.
Right. We just prioritize the dominoes so that when this is done, we get to move to the next one. Some of them happen simultaneously, but that's how you move forward faster than if you were to just throw more money at a marketing tactic that scales.
Yeah. Your secret sauce is, what I'm hearing, most businesses, and I can't put a number on it, because they're in the middle of it, they don't see that anchor.
Oh, I don't see mine.
Yeah, and you just said that. I didn't see mine. I had to change, and somebody had to tell me. And that's your whole grand slam, you coming in and doing that.
Right. I mean, I surround myself with people who call me on my crap, right? And so at the end of the thing that happened, I knew I had to stop the plan. And then I had this second plan that we were going to go with. And right before that really got launched, my COO, and she's not nearly she's a lot nicer than I am. What she said to me in the meeting was, can I reflect back to you what I hear you saying? I would have just bluntly blurted it out. But she said to me, can I reflect back to you what I hear you saying? And I said, yeah, what? And she said, you don't want to do any of this. I said, you're right. We're not doing any of it. You're right. We're not doing any of it. Gone. And I took 30 days of effort of putting ducks in a row, and I dumped the whole pond.
Addition by subtraction is what I'm hearing. Elementary.
People, you know who I was reading? This is what happens to people who get scammed. They start to try to get them. This is how smart people end up with these crazy, Nigerian prince scam victims, because they're trying so hard to recuperate. They're trying so hard to not get hit by it, that they dig themselves a deeper hole. Because what did we used to call it in corporate? Don't throw good money after bad. You do not. I'm not married to a plan. I'm not married to any of my ideas. I'm not married to any of the way things work, because I have to stay open to what else is possible.
What you're married to is bringing abundance to yourself, which brings abundance to others by serving that value.
It's the outcome.
Yeah.
It's the outcome. Because the other thing, going back to this whole tactics over strategy problem, is the sad side of the business, that the heartbreaking side of it, is the marketing that the tactic people use. And by the way, this doesn't make them bad also either. They're good at what they do. This is not a bad thing. We love people who are good at what they do. They create a situation where people feel it worked for them and I can't do it. I must suck.
Yeah.
When truthfully, it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right thing for your business. And you hate doing the thing. But you want the outcome so bad that you agreed, motivated. We think we could do it. They make it look easy because they're really good. It's kind of like how by the end of the Olympics, we're all, experts on gymnastics or something, because they make it look so easy.
Yeah.
And so we go, okay, well, if it's that easy, maybe I can do it. But you hate it. You'd rather have a stick in the eye than do the thing. And so they're not playing to your strengths. And then you just feel like not only did you waste the money, now you feel like you failed. And I hate that, because that's icky. We don't like failing.
No. Yeah, failing is not good. Yeah, especially big failures.
Right,
the little fails are okay.
Hard enough. We don't want to. There's a difference between that didn't work. I do all sorts of things that don't work. I do things that don't work all the time. All the time. I don't. I watched a Gary V reel I love the way he said this. The problem that business owners are having is they want to make 3 decisions and they want those 3 decisions to work. They want to be 3-0. His approach is I want to be 118 and 72.
Interesting.
It's very different. And if you get attached to these things and you try so many things that aren't the right fit, you just get stuck trying to be 3-0 when you could be 118 and 72.
Yeah. And so you're up 40 decisions by the positive. Yeah, I trade Forex, and that's the whole thing with trading Forex is, and you've been in the financial industry, is take your losses, minimize your losses, but take them. It's okay. You're not going to be 100%. That is so cool.
You can't.
Well, you're going to blow up, so we better take a break because your energy is so awesome. We'll take a quick
Probably
break.
at the end of the day, right, when I'm kind of wired.
I got you the best time.
Chill in the morning. Now I'm like tired.
No way I take you at 6 in the morning. No, it won't happen. But let's take a quick break. I want you to learn more about Erin. I got a little video for all of you to watch.
One pieces of advice that I can give for you for this is be the calm in the storm. Be the predictability that people are not just desiring, but like they're starved for right now. The more you can hone in on the exact thing that you do, right? Which brings me to being specific over generalities. Like the more you can hone in on the problem that you solve, the outcome that you provide, being specific and calm and predictable and steady in the marketplace is going to help you get the clients that are out there needing to move forward. Because right now, I mean, I don't know if you're experiencing this. I would imagine by the videos I see on TikTok that most people are experiencing this. Things don't work. Things don't work the way they used to work. The medical and insurance field, like nothing works. Nothing is easy the way things that used to be easy. And then when you add on top of that, the chaos, like I've been talking about, people are going to want that steadfast predictability that you might be the solution for. What's the problem that you're right? This is a marketing situation, not necessarily a business model situation. People are wanting specific outcomes over general feel goods. Again, this is not terribly new. I think what you're going to see is just an increase in intensity, I'm making up words here, an increase in intensity around these needs. So the more you can talk about the specific outcome you provide instead of just feeling better, instead of just making more money. I was very intense there. I don't know what is it.
Yeah, it's like they know it was a different person.
I forgot what I was answering, but wow, I think that might have been on my business outlook for 2024. I don't know. It was a little intense moment there.
Well, I want to talk about your background because that's what's interesting too. But 2 things I got from that video when I listened to it earlier when your team sent it to me was change is happening all the time. Look at Amazon. That little picture of everybody seen that picture. Amazon books. He's in books are everywhere on his desk to where he probably doesn't have a desk now. He's changed how many times? I love that you said that. And the second thing is being specific. Specific.
You can't say it either.
No, I can't. So take the ball, run with those.
There was a time in the marketplace in 2020, probably started a little bit before 2020, like the golden internet and the money. There was money. And I know that COVID, there's a lot of industries that COVID just annihilated, you know, get it, hotels, catering. Like I'm not talking about that. But the government was printing money. People had more time on their hands than they know what to do with. And you had in those situations for those years, people making life-changing decisions, $10,000 decisions, $30,000 decisions in the coaching world, on programs based off of a 1 day, a 2 day, a 3 day interaction. General programs, make more money, feel better, right? Life coaching, business coaching. I've even, I say business coaching. What I do is a lot more like consulting with some coaching because we got to get you there, right?
Yeah.
The plan doesn't matter if you can't do the plan.
Yep.
But that's not the world now. It's harder to do business right now because people are no longer trapped in their Zoom calls. We're all Zoomed out. We don't want to do it anymore. People don't have the money. Like I said this in 2023. I said this at the beginning of 2023. The bottom third of the market went away. In single field. In every single field, the people, the lowest numbers, like I don't want to say the people with the least amount of money to spend in every marketplace went away for more than one reason. One is because the prices increased. We just had a guy come out to give us a bid on a fence. It's $25,000.
Oh.
$25,000. And he even said, since 2020, the cost has gone up 45%. Now, here's the thing that's going on, and this is one of the reasons things don't work. The industries that were affected by supply chain problems, all these things, they had to raise their rates. It was a hot mess. They're now, a lot of it's fixed, but they're not going to give away that money. And so you have all these things going on. You have what happened in October in Israel. You have the chaos of the politics. You have God only knows what's happening in Alabama right now. Like, you have, there's more and more and more chaos. Humans need predictability to function. That's where religion comes from. That's where fables come from. Like, the human brain requires predictability to function because that's how the brain like makes big leaps without being exhausted all the time. We're like, oh, we know that's a chair. I can just assume that that's a chair. I don't have to figure it out. When you add all that in together, people without any money, people losing, a lot of business owners, their spouses have an income. Well, a lot of those spouses have lost their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Now you add in chaos. You add in what looks like the next world war coming. You've got Russia at war. You've got Israel at war. You've got you've got what some people will have you say war on different populations within this country, truthfully.
Yeah.
We had a saying when I had my last business working with families with aging parents. Don't add to the drama. Don't add to the drama. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have opinions about things. That is not what I'm talking about. But in terms of your business, the problems that you solve, the solutions that you offer, the promises that you make, don't add to the drama. It's going to hurt your business because people are already all worked up.
Yeah.
It's back to the calm in the storm.
Yeah. So true. Your background's amazing. When I first met you,
Which weird part would you like?
Yeah, well, and it's weird, but it's weird in a good way because you are here today because of your back history.
Absolutely, we all are.
Talk about that. How your experience has really helped you.
And I think there's part that I don't know that that now that I'm doing a deep spiritual reflection thing personally. So there's part that I don't know that I've even added to the story with the people that we know. My first surgery was at 24 hours old. I never should have made it. The doctors got in an argument. One doctor said, I will spare you the details. This doctor is 1970, by the way, and I was under 5 pounds. I'm little. I'm teeny. Wait till you meet me in person. I'm little. People do not expect this much energy to be that little. I'm little. So the doctors got into an argument. And this doctor said, oh, this is what's wrong. Just do it. And this doctor said, no, you don't know that that's wrong. We need to do something else. And my mother in 1970, when women didn't do this, said, you don't know what's wrong with my kid. Take her to Children's. And I was taken over to Children's Hospital in Chicago where they did some tests. And if that first doctor would have won the argument, I would have been dead.
Oh my gosh.
So right. So I had the 3 surgeries before I was 2 years old. No one was allowed to touch me. I was never allowed to cry. I was never, because all the surgeries would have gotten all blood. I'm got scars, and they're all some are covered in tattoos already. Some are just built into them. Then when I was 5, I got bit by a Great Dane. I have 100 stitches in my face. Went to the emergency room. It was our dog. It was just a freak accident. Not the dog's fault. And you're like, wait a minute, don't you rescue dogs? I can see it in your face. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Went to the emergency room. And again, the emergency room doctor wanted to stitch me up. That's what they do. And my mom said, no, wait, is she stable? Yes. Well, then we need to find a pediatric plastic surgeon. And so in 1975, before the internet, before cell phones, at 11 o'clock at night, they started the old-fashioned phone tree, and we waited 3 hours. I remember some of it. Again, I'll spare you the details. I remember some of it. Mm-hmm. And we waited 3 hours to get a top-of-the-line pediatric plastic surgeon, and now you can't even tell them.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Even in person, you really can't tell.
Yeah.
So there's that piece, and what I've learned from that and then continued was, if you don't make decisions for you, people who are not vested in you get to make those decisions. And it doesn't make those people bad, and it doesn't make those people wrong. The doctor's not bad. Like, it just makes them not necessarily in alignment with what you want for you. Mm-hmm. If you don't make decisions for you, people, lawyers, doctors, politicians, like that's what these fights are about. If you don't make decisions for you, people who are not vested in you get to make those decisions. So I always knew I had to be in charge of my life. Now, somewhere along the way, what got added to that is the rules don't apply to Erin. So I don't know where this comes from. I never felt like, some people say, well, you've been on borrowed time since day one. So it's just really weird. Like it's a little weird to just always have known that. I've never had well, there's always tomorrow. I've just never thought I do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't wait a lot. Because I was kind of brought up being told these stories and whatever, I interpret them. And when I say the rules don't apply to Erin, I don't mean like stop at the red light, pay your taxes on time. I mean,
bank, steal money. Yeah, right, you don't do that.
I mean, what you're supposed to do, how things are supposed to work, what you're supposed to look like, those rules.
Yeah.
The mores type of thing. And yeah. And so I always felt this mixture of I could do and be whatever it was I wanted. But I also always knew that I was going to have to do it. It was never going to be handed to me. So I got my first regular job at 13 years old. So I knew I could do whatever I wanted to do, but I knew I was going to have to be the one to do it. So there's zero entitlement. While there's zero limitations, there's also zero entitlement. Fast forward a few years, and I decide juvenile delinquent is the way to go, right? Right. So I was, I was Chicago public schools in the 70s and 80s. It is, right? It is what it is. That's what we did.
Yeah.
All the movies you've watched, all the after school specials. Yes, that. Our principal got stabbed. We couldn't walk out the front door of the school once the weather broke because of the drive-by shootings. So we used to go out the back. Yeah, all those things. To me, it was normal. But the upside of that is I also grew up with kids from 22 different countries. The immigration waves of the 80s. Nobody spoke English. Nobody had any money. But you're kids, so you want to play with each other. So you learn how to talk to each other. You learn how to communicate. You learn that people are just people. Everyone's fine. Everyone's the exact same. The good news is if you want any ethnic food, you just go to that person's house and my grandma makes it for you. Like all of it. All 22 different countries. Like,
I bet you it was damn good.
Baklava from Alex's grandma from Turkey. Like all of it, right?
Wow.
All the food.
That's great.
Right? Went to college where I just because I tested in. I didn't really go to high school a lot, but back then they couldn't track that. So I tested in a college, and then I have a journalism degree. And while I was getting my journalism degree, because I was a student reporter, I was given access to things that a regular reporter wouldn't have access to. Right? I covered murder trials. I was 19 years old. I covered the government. I was 19 years old. I interviewed Paul Simon, the Illinois senator, who's just like an unbelievable statesman. I interviewed Mike Madigan before he went to the federal government while he was still in the state level. Who gets to do that when they're 19 years old?
Nobody.
And I learned again that people are just people. And I also learned along all of this, communicating with intent. Communicate with intent. And there's only ever one intention. There's only ever one intention. And it's to invite people to take one more step with you.
Wow.
That's the only intention that's ever there. People get so messed up on their 30-second intro at the networking event because they think they're going to sell a $10,000 program from a no, that's not how that works.
You nailed it there.
No, it's an elevator speech. Who buys shit in the elevator? Like, that's not what, like, dude, I'm 5 feet tall and grew up in Chicago. I'm not talking to you in an elevator, right?
No.
It's not happening. Not happening.
That's a good point. Nobody talks in an elevator, but we call it an elevator pitch.
We do not talk to strangers in the elevator, and I love Edward Jones, but we also don't go door to door. Like, would you like to kidnap me? Would you like to kidnap me? Like, no. Exact opposite everything my father taught me. He was a cop. We don't do those things.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Smart.
Right? So communicate with intent. People are just people. We're all the same. And then finally, once I got out of college is when I got my head out of my butt with like, wow, you can earn a living. Like, I need to earn a living. I have no attention span. I have a lot of energy. And I just love, I don't like to go to school, but I love learning. And so I just did a great job at every job I had. Do a great job at every job you have. And then the next, and I was so amazingly lucky to get unbelievable mentors in 2 different places that took me in a rooms way above my pay grade and explained things. Like when I was with the insurance company in corporate before I left, we would go to these meetings. I would make all my notes and then we'd go out to dinner. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? And he would just explain it to me.
Wow.
And he would just, until I understood. But it was because I showed up first.
You went through the door.
I showed up first. Everybody, not to get all grouchy old woman on you, but there's too many people waiting for someone to do something for them so they get to have something, and that is not how this works. That is not how this works. If you show up first, sky's the limit.
And everybody appreciates it more too, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, like everything that you do, and I'm even blunt about it now because I know how you operate. I'll introduce someone to you and go, Steve, they need go find them some people. And you're like, absolutely, I'm on it.
No, not even a second thought.
Not even a second thought. I'm like, I like this guy. He needs a couple introductions. You know who he needs to know. Just talk to him for a minute. Like, not even a second thought.
That's communication with intention.
Right.
For positive. Not that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Exactly.
Love it.
And here's the thing. It's not linear. The give before you get, the help, it's not linear. So I send you somebody just to help him out. I liked him. I had a blast with him. I like his wife. Steve can help you. It'll be 2 minutes. So that here's the thing. The next time Steve needs something, you can ask me for it. The next time this guy's not going to be a client of mine. That's fine. But the next time he comes across somebody, he might send it to me, or the business bucket will send me somebody else. I'm
going to stop you right there because what audience, and if you're listening live, in chat, we might have some chats here. We do. Ryan just reached out and he said, "Hey,
I'm not touching any buttons."
No, I'll touch those buttons for you. I'm a good touchy-feely guy.
I don't touch the buttons.
So Ryan says, "Hi there. I need your help in my small business." Ryan Chapala. So Ryan, we will well, how can Ryan and anybody else reach out to you?
Seriously, if you just go to conqueryourbusiness.com, there's a book a call button. Like, it's that easy. I'm happy to talk to people.
Well, there you go, Ryan. And anybody else that's listening,
Book
I
a
forgot
call.
to mention that we got into our conversation, but comment about what we're talking about here. But I love what you just said, because building marketing, relationship marketing, is the power. But the problem is you have to wait. You said it earlier about people waiting. Well, build a relation with Erin, but then build a relation with Tony, build a relation with Steve, and then Erin 3 weeks later says, hey, meet this guy, and then Tony, this guy, and then you got the spider web of connections like we're doing with our alliance that we're part of.
It is. And here's the other piece of that puzzle. Part of the challenge is business owners feel so alone. Most business owners are in their office working at their computer, and you can feel like you're the only one. And I will tell you, don't go online and do woe is me marketing, please, for the love of God. Don't go to your team and on them about your woes. Find a couple of people, right? Don't go to your clients and tell them the reason you can't do what you promised them you were going to do is because of the problems that you have, not their problem. But you need.
I spelled it wrong, so keep going.
I love it.
Like, there we go.
Like me.
And we don't care. I made a mistake.
I don't. Oh, please.
Is that correct? Conqueryourbusiness.com. There you go.
Like, how badly could I mess all the time?
But you've done a lot of marketing, so I'm glad you said that. I mean, that's important. I mean, I'm not a big social media, pay ads, and that, again, I'm not critiquing and judging anybody.
No, it's just not the right fit for you and what you're doing.
Yep.
That's all it is.
But we have to market. That's
Yes. So find the version that's right for you.
Yeah.
I was at multiple six figures in my business, by the way, before I started social media.
Say that again.
I was, and again, remember, I'm a coaching business, so different businesses have different dollar amounts that sound good or impressive or whatever. I was at, make it worse for you. I was at multiple six figures in my business. One, before I started any kind of regular social media, and two, I wasn't working Fridays because I was volunteering.
And how'd you do that?
I focused on the things I'm supposed to focus on the other 4 days. I made relationships. My marketing, to dive a little bit deeper into marketing, because I'm all about like making sure you have active strategies and passive strategies and short-term and long-term, and making sure you have a good mix and match, right? So what I did was I did networking and speaking as two active short-term ROI situations. If you're going to be in the room, be in the front of the room. If you're going to be in the room in some way, shape, or form, be in the front of the room, whether you're speaking, whether you're sponsoring, whether you're leading, whether you're on the board. If you're going to be in the room, be in the front of the room. It's an inherent credential. And it's a give back in a lot of ways, right? So I was speaking / sponsoring, depending on the event, and I was networking, which meant I knew all the people, and then I was up in front of all the people. And I was tinkering with social media. You got to remember what I told you. Juvenile delinquent in the 80s. I spent the first 20 years of my life making sure nobody knew what I was doing, right? Yeah. It's a very weird concept to me. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. It felt very weird to me. I also learned that about myself, the reason I don't like social media is there's no immediate feedback. And I need it. I need the other person to talk. It can be only one person. That's fine. I got to talk to somebody. I feel when I'm online, I feel like I'm screaming into the void, and that's just me. That's not a social media problem. That's an Erin problem.
Yeah. Well, I want to recap. So you did 6 figures, and a big part of that marketing was relationship marketing, building a network.
It was building networks and speaking.
So
my thing is give out referrals. When I had my you want referrals, give referrals. It's that easy. When I had my previous business with families with aging parents, I gave out $6 million of real estate referrals. I had a bigger real estate business than half the realtors.
And you gave all that.
I just gave it away. I didn't have a license. I didn't get checks. I got lunch. I just gave it away.
But it helped you get you where you are today.
Exactly. Because when I started this business and I wanted to get on stage or I want to get in front of a group, I had this amazing credential. Hey, I used to teach real estate agents how to work with aging parents, and I gave $6 million in real estate referrals. And all of a sudden, everyone in real estate is going, oh, maybe we should listen to her for 8 seconds instead of 3.
Yeah. It's been amazing. We have 4 minutes left. And we knew that before we started in the green room. We're talking, it's going to be crazy. How are we going to cut this? Real quick, how can people reach out to you? Ryan, I've got you see the website. Yeah. Who else? That's the best one.
That's the best way. So here's a marketing tip for you. For all the people out there who are going on podcasts, stop telling people 7 different ways to get a hold of you. One way. One easy peasy takeaway. And if your name is hard to spell, get a URL that works. ConquerYourBusiness.com will link you to everything. My podcast, you can see Steve's episode. All my socials linked there. Getting a hold of me is linked there. There's freebies, by the way. There's a growth profiler there that'll walk you through where we started with the stages of business. You can download that. It's free. There's an ebook there that's free. Like, it's all in one place. Give people one call to action at a time. Go to ConquerYourBusiness.com. You can find me through there. Super, super easy.
I'm going to hate to do this because I don't like to put time on you, but for the last 3 minutes, what's something you haven't already?
Okay. This is what I do every day. This is my exercise every single day. I start out with this question. What do you want? It's not long-term. This is what do I want? What do I want this month? What am I working on, right? Because we started with this growth and leverage. Is what do I want? I want 100K in the next 30 days. These are the 3 questions. What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? And what do I have to believe to make that happen? This works for your relationship. Massive clarity, single question. What do I want? I call this setting your stage. This sets my stage for decision making for the whole day. Because what do I want? Very specific, short term. What do I want? And then what do I have to do today that moves me towards it? I get real black and white. I'm either moving toward it or I'm moving away from it. That helps me with that focus piece. What to do? The second thing is, who do I need to be? 99% of the time, the answer is a little more brave. I just need to be a little more brave. And the third thing is, what do I have to believe? I have to believe it's possible. I have to believe there's clients out there waiting for me. I have to believe the money is easy. I have to believe that I know I can do it. I have to believe that it is easy because I'm a good Midwesterner and we have a very hard work ethic, which makes work hard. Right? So I do that every day.
God bless you, Erin. You are a blessing. This has been incredible, and we got a response. And
awesome.
People are excited.
I would look at it, but I'm scared to touch the buttons.
Yeah. I got your back on this one.
Reach out to me. I'm not touching buttons here.
Yeah, and reach out to me too. I'll get you connected with Erin. You're looking to grow and then scale. You're in growth scale. You're just looking to do anything with your business. You need somebody like Erin. Erin's the same way. If she's not a fit, we have a whole network of people that can help you.
We'll find you the right people.
That's why me and Erin are excited to work together. We're not about us. We're about helping abundance with you guys through our network. We both have large networks. We're going to open it up to you.
Yep.
I don't know if people tell you that, but we're telling you that. And I've done it. Erin's done it with me. I've done it with her. So we've lived that life. Thank you again, Erin. And I want to thank everybody for watching. This has been
too much fun.
It's powerful. So good.
You keep setting me off. Hey,
you light the dynamite. Guess what happens? All right, everybody. We'll see you next Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. See you all then.